So, it's early September and we're back at Parco Del Brenta in Italy. We're going to put our terminal tackle through the paces. We come to places like this just so that we can absolutely smash it to bits. All the hook links, all the hooks, everything that we do is going to get absolutely abused this week. We've got fish from low doubles all the way up to £80. Hopefully this week we'll get some on camera for you.
The minute we pulled through the gate here at Parco, I was blown away by how stunning the lake itself is. It's instantly you're greeted by the point, which is a lovely big spacious swim, and from there you can see the whole lake and just see what a stunning piece of water it really is.
My first impressions when I turned up at Parco was actually what a nice lake it was. You know, it's not over commercialised. There's enough, you know, enough to make you comfortable, but it's not, as I say, all bark and you know, manicured swims and that, which I actually quite prefer.
I sort of knew what to expect coming back to Parco after the results the team had early on in the year in April. So there was definitely going to be a part of the lake that I wanted to have a look at because I knew that it would do lots of bites. But this time I wanted to come and try and do things a little bit different. I wanted to try and get into a real bigger fish. So depending on how the draw goes, if I come down low, I'm going to go where my head's telling me to get loads of bites. But if I come out quite high, I might take a gamble, try and get an open water swim and try for a real big one. Follow my heart to a big one.
This week fishing with my wife, so I knew I needed a big area to fish. She's going to be on one side, I'll be on the other. Peg one is absolutely fantastic for that, buzzing to be in peg one.
Well, I'm here in Italy. It's my first time in the country and I'm buzzing to be fishing Parco with the RidgeMonkey boys. I was a last minute addition to the trip, having just come off my holiday with my girlfriend in Ibiza. I'm here fishing traditional UK tactics. I don't have a bait boat, so I'm going to be spodding, using a marker float and casting all my rods into baited areas. I've never fished anywhere in the world like this, so it's a first for me. I know that the carp in here are massive. I'm going to have to up my hooks. I'm going to have to up my hook link strength just to suit. But we're here to test some new products. Where else could you choose than Parco Del Brenta? After a couple of hours in peg 7, I was starting to doubt myself. Things weren't really going my way. A couple of things had gone against me and I was really down in the dumps. But then I see a fish go out to my right, I put a method feeder on its head and within minutes it rattled away. Oh no, it's not a catfish. So it's just thinking things had dried up a little bit and a couple of the lads had gone round to a peg on the point for a social, so I was half tempted to reel my rods and get round there as the action's been a little bit dry the last couple of hours and a lot of the fish seem to have moved into the middle body of the lake. But I put 10 spods out not too long ago and it obviously just switched the fish on, so middle rod, just pulled up tight and we're bent into another one. One thing some of you eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed is that I actually play the fish using the back wind function on the reel. I just find on long sort of sessions like this where your line's going to be taking a hammer in, it just helps reduce the twist in the line a lot. And as well as that, I feel like I'm in a lot more control than sort of trusting the clutch on the reel. It's nice to be able to feel the fish and feel a bit more in direct contact with the fish. So like now when the fish goes, I'm not relying on the tension set on the clutch, it's totally down to me. Chunky fat little fish. She's in. Back on the game. Well, look at that for a funky looking character. It's been a bit quiet the last few hours. The fish seem to have moved up the other end of the lake and it's all been a bit dead to say the least, so glad to get another bite. I think I'm going to chill out for the evening and just hope for one or two more. Lovely jubbly.
It wasn't until late Saturday afternoon that I actually got all my rods in the water. But once I did, it didn't take long to get the first take. Probably 10 minutes. It was only a small mirror, just slightly over 20 pounds. But after that, they just kept coming, one after another, bang, 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 bang. In fact, it became really hard to try and actually get 3 rods in the water. As time went on, I was hoping to establish you know, a set sort of bite time period when I knew that perhaps I should be fishing a bit harder. But to be honest with you, bite time was whenever I had a bait in the water. It didn't seem to make any difference whatsoever. I put a bait out, I'd get a run. And then it became really hard to actually fish because you never had time to then make rigs or to rebait. So sometimes you literally have to just put all the rods out of the water and say, time out, I'm going to take an hour, 2 hours, I'm going to regroup and put them back in, because you knew as soon as the rods went back in again, it wouldn't be long before one ripped off.
So the whole time I've been sitting in peg 16, just around the corner, peg 20's been empty. And I've had it playing in my mind the whole time I've been in there. Jay was in 20 last year and he managed, I think he had 12 fish over 50 pounds. I was in the top bay, I had 109 fish and only managed, I think there was 8 50s. So I know the back bay is good for numbers. The real big ones, you've got to be very lucky. The open expanse of the water will certainly do the bigger fish. Vary it in depths down to 23 to 24 foot. So I truly believe if there's going to be a real big one out, it's going to come from the open part. So I couldn't hang around any longer. I'm packing away, I'm getting myself in 20.
Dan was really clever with this one because he was in 16 and he instantly started getting fish. But I think as we knew, it would be smaller fish over in them snaggy little bay bits. I had a big one on the first night and Dan see that and he isn't shy. So he moved into 20, poached my swim and started catching 40 pounders from the off. So yeah, good angling from Danny boy.
So I like to give the carp a mixture of sizes, mixture of food particles. I've put 2 scoops of each of the pellets in. I give them a generous amount of 10mm boilies, more small food items. And then what I'd like to try and do is, because I'm fishing a yellow, a little bit of match the hatch. I like to put a few of something of the same colour in there, whether it be, if I'm using pink, I'll put a few pink salty squids in. If I'm using yellow, some IBs or high leakage pineapple. So all I do, I want them searching these out, so I don't put loads in. I'll put a handful across the 2 hoppers. I like to get 2 PVA foam nuggets. I lick one, push it in, place the rig and the hook just inside the first one, place the second one in, and what I find this does, I'm fishing in over 20 foot of water out there, the bait will descend and become a big spread. I want this to be really, really slow sinking. I want this to be one of the first things they find. The smaller fish are going to come in and smash the pellets to pieces, then they're coming in finding the bigger food particles. This will slowly, slowly fall. As the PVA pulls away, it will fall down nicely, like the cherry on the cake, right on the top of all my freebies. I'm fishing 67 yards out, up to a wall. It's an absolutely huge structure of the lake, a main focal point from 1 to 14, and I'm sitting right on the very top of it. I'm in 10.8 foot, literally a metre, and it drops right down to 22 foot. A massive pronounced spot of the lake which will do bites all year round. You've got deep water up to the shallows, a lovely plateau, it's rock hard, and on the echo the fish are all over it, absolutely crawling with them. Well, you can see from the bites on my face, this hasn't been the only bite since I moved swims down into Mosquito Bay. It's been absolute carnage. I've been savaged, arms, legs, feet, ankles, and the face has been done good and proper. But who cares when the move pays off and you have one of these in your hands. Just under 59 pound of Italian mirror, my biggest of the trip so far. Get in there.
Morning. Oh dear, haven't been fishing the days because it's been roasting hot. I've got a couple of rigged some PVO bags to tie, so I thought I'd leave the rods out today. And yeah, probably 9 o'clock in the morning, and I've had a bite. I'm hoping it's a grass carp. There's been a few out there. I do love a grassy. Very majestic creatures. I haven't seen him yet, but he's feeling quite lumpy, shall we say. Yeah, I can feel myself burning already. It's absolutely roasting. Over the week, I've been baiting up first thing in the morning to beat the sun around the trees before it comes and cooks me. This morning I woke up quite late, so I didn't. Like I say, I've left the rods out, but for the majority of the week I've been baiting up first thing in the morning and leaving it all day just for the fish to get on it, have a free munch, and then come the evening when the sun goes back round the other side and the temperature's tolerable, the rods go out, the fish are already comfortable on the bait, and it's generally chaos in the evenings because they've had all day to get comfortable on the spot. I've been using a combination of ground bait, crushed boilies and halibut pellets, and again a combination of bait boat and spom over the top. I'm cooking. Yeah, we'll do hooks next time. There we go. Another Parco fish in the net. Happy days. Parco Del Brenta low 30 pounder. Fought like a demon. And yeah, very happy that I've got ultimate faith in the old size 4 beak points. I use almost nothing else when it comes to hooks for bottom baits. If I have to, I'll slip down to a size 6 when I'm fishing something like, say, maggots, but as a rule, size 4 beak points all the way. These bionic 30 pounders fight maybe even harder than the bigger fish. The bigger ones tend to plod about, use their weight down in the deep water, whereas the chunky 30 pounders scrap like absolute demons in here.
So we've got 6 rods between us to play with, and the way we do it is we take it in turns. So she'll put her rods out, I'll put my rods out, and whoever's rods go first is their go. We're both here to catch big fish. Me, I'd like a few bit bigger than her, but we'll see how the week goes on. But basically, if we catch a grass carp or a catfish or anything under 30 pound, then it's still your go because we call them photo fish. If I catch a 40 pounder, then it swaps over. And basically that's the way it works. Big fish, small fish, big fish, small fish. We actually get a good variant of fish, and all we go home with was the same amount of fish in reality, but who has bragging rights of the big uns. I'm lucky on this boat to have GPS. The spot I'm putting out now is on number 8. So all I do is push GPS button, go all the way down to number 8, push OK. What I then do is put the boat in the water and just push yes, and it drives off. So follow me down, we'll do that. Little push out, get her going, and then all I do is push OK, and the boat decides to go to the spot that I found earlier. The technology in these boats is unbelievable. We've got the Toslin X Pilot, we've got the UK bespoke bait boats, which are absolutely unbelievable. I've had a lot of bait boats over my years, and these are not only strong, they're reliable, they're in the UK, so if you have any problems you can always go back. They take an absolute beating. I'm not the most careful of anglers, and I've not managed to break it yet, which is a rarity for me. The batteries last forever, they're lithium batteries, they last forever. And I've got the Ray Marine Echo sounder on this one, which is a godsend, really good, really clear. We can go through that in a little while. But this has reached its target, if you heard that bleep. And all you do then, on a slack line, so when you drop it, you don't want the bait swinging back in, you want to drop it where it's landed. So you just open the hopper, that drops through, let it tick through your fingers and lands on the spot. Okay, one product I'd like to show you is the line control arm. I'm fishing with Jude this week, so it makes her life a lot easier. She can hold the rod and hold the spool while I drive the boat, or vice versa, whatever way we want to do it. But if you are fishing on your own, whether you're in a big boat or whether you're using bait boats, even been known if you're stalking and you're feeding it out of a pole, is the line control arm. What it does, you just put it over the top of the spool, slide it down, adjust it forward or back so it touches the spool, and what that does, it just stops lines spilling off. It comes off nice and controlled, as the name suggests, and yeah, it makes life a lot easier. No more tangles, no more stress when you're trying to drive a bait boat out on your own, or you're rowing your rigs back in when you're in a big boat. And I've got to take. That was a good take. Wicked, thanks Don. Sorry, mate. Oh, that's a nice one. Woohoo! That looks like another big Parco common. Happy days. I think this is Jude's turn next. Don't think we need to worry about weighing this one to know that this is going to be over 40 pound. I can almost guarantee it. Happy days. Proof of the pudding that the bait boats are working, eh? Woohoo! Another 50. Happy days. Bloody love this place. Oh, you right there, Jude? As I was just weighing that common, the other rod's ripped off like I said it would. Didn't take very long. It's Jude's turn, and she looks like she's got a lovely big mirror there. Oh, that's a donkey. So this is the moment of truth. I've got a 50 odd in the stack. As I was doing the photos, well, as I was weighing it, the right hand rod's ripped off, as I thought we would. Jude's turn. Yeah, this looks like it's a real donkey. Might even be pushing 60. I might be a bit exaggerating, but we'll soon see. Just get her up on the sling. Who's going to read? Go on, Jude. Oh, new PB. Well done, babe. Nice one.
What can I say? 2 PBs in one day. First fish of the day was a 51. This is a nice big fat 57. Absolutely loving Parco.
Well, Jude outdone me on this time. £57 mirror for her. This is £53. So this time round, with this brace, she's the winner. So the race is on, competition's on. She's still got a 60 to catch.
Me and Harry have come to the decision we're going to rest our swims this morning. We've topped them up with a lot of bait. We've come in here to have a bit of a social, a little bit of a laugh and a bit of fun, and let's see what happens.
So I've come up here into peg 16 to join Dan for a few hours. We've dropped the rods out on that far bank. Now we're in what, 5 minutes, mate? Probably not even that. And we've both tore off with a tape. Cool, give me a shower. Oh, she in? She's in. Well done, mate.
How big?
38 and a half.
Wow.
30 seconds into getting into peg 16. Me and Dan are both nailed his lovely mid-30 comments.
And they're full of energy. Something I've been capitalising on this trip is casting at showing fish or big patches of fizzing, bubbles in an area, and it's getting bites very quickly. What I've found effective in this is a pop-up presentation. My go-to pop-up presentation is the RONNIE rig. Got a size 4 curve shank here, a chocolate orange fizz pop-up from mainline, and I'm either using a soft or a stiff boom section. This one here is the soft coated in 25. This just kicks away lovely, beds down onto the clay nicely. But what I like to add, because you want to get a bite fast, you don't want to put loads of bait out, you just want something of instant attraction. I like to pair this with, whether it be a free bait stringer, some chops on a stringer, or even a mesh bag with just free baits in. But what I opt to use, I use the high impact range from mainline, the shelf life boilies. These give off maximum attraction, lots of leakage, lots of flavour, lots of colour into your swim, and they don't half get your bites quick. And I found it here, I've had some lovely fish, just under 50 pound, casting at showing fish. Utilise this into your fishing, I think it could put plenty more fish on the bank.
As we've got the lake exclusively here at Parco this week, we're allowed to use bait boats, so I'm going to take full advantage of that. It's going to allow me to deliver a lot of bait very, very accurately, very quickly. So, firstly, take my leg, I've got my rig already on it, I'll tuck that in the back of the boat there, close the door. I'm using a large pellet here. I've got, this is a 10mm Coppins pellet. I'm going to put a good scoop either side, a little bit extra. Right, on top of that, next in, I've got hemp. So I'm going to chuck a nice scoop of hemp in each one. Same again this side. Smooth it out. And finally, my mainline boilies. Now, this is actually mainline cell base mix. Right. I've had it made up into small dumbbells because when I was finding out about the venue, it seemed to be that small baits were preferred. And again, we're not going to be stingy with these. We're going to put in a good scoop each side. That's probably, I would think, getting on for 3 to 4 kilos of bait in that boat now. So all it leaves me to do is to put foam nugget on the hook bait. Just ensures that the little wafter can't slide back down and foul the hook as it's dropping down out of the boat. And lastly, before it goes out, I'm going to give it a little spray here. This is chocolate orange fizz. Going to give that a little spray just to boost that hook bait. Ready to go. This is an extra rod I put out over the deep water. I had fish showing over, it's about 26 foot of water out there. So I literally took a boat out, it's about 50 yards out, dropped it off on top of where a fish had just shown, and yeah, and look, it's away. So they're obviously not worried about feeding in really deep water here. £42 of little Parco mirror. The right shape and strain to be a proper chunk one day. Anyway, for the moment she can go back and carry on growing. There we go. Yes, nice.
Back home in the UK, all of my fishing is short sessions where I've got to maximise maybe an overnighter or a day session on the bank. So my tactics I employ are quick bite tactics, fishing for a bite at a time, not normally filling it in and then waiting. In. Well, that fish proper put up a good account for itself. It's not an absolute monster, but I'll take it nevertheless. Just a couple of quick tips when it comes to retaining fish. It's important that the fish has a nice depth of water. Your draw cord's nice and long so that the fish got plenty of play should it wish to swim about a little bit, and also that it's firmly attached both ends. That's solid. The clip on there is solid so that the fish ain't going to be able to break free. Right, I'm going to get the rods back out, so we'll see you in about an hour.
48 dead. And there you go. I didn't think it'd take long after getting the rods out. It's about 12:30 now. 3 rods all positioned up on the shelf, just under 11 foot. The right hand rod on the method feeder has decided to fly off. This is the end result, 48 pound. Absolutely stunning, stunning common carp.
Well, there we have it. Thought I'd mix things up a bit. Oh, it's going to kick. And I decided to try Snowman rig down on that left-hand margin, and it's produced this lovely 47 pound 2-ounce mirror. What a result. Cool, proper power unit, this one.
This is the rod that's in about 22 foot, about 30 yards out. All these fish, they come in quite quickly into the margins, but then they just hang deep, plod up and down. There's another one in the office. $51.6. That'll do. Here we go. This is the comment I've just had. 51.6. Paul was going to do the pictures for me, but he's had to run off. He's just had to take on his own rods, so show that to you quickly, and go and pop her back. There you go.
So as you can probably hear in the background, the drone's up in the sky. We was just doing some aerial shots of me playing a fish, which I landed, and that's in the net. And no sooner as we landed that one, the other one's ripped off. It's a pattern that's happening nearly every time we put the bait out, to be honest. One goes and then the other goes. And that's the joy of fishing 2 baits close together, is if you get one, you invariably get another one. 42 and 46, caught within seconds of each other. I don't want to get them out and stress them out any more than they need to. So let's put them straight back, no need for floaters. Absolutely lovely. As you can see, more than ready, absolute gorgeous Parco common. Just over 46 pound. Stunning. Get it back. There it goes. Mad day. Woohoo! Flipping out, right? Someone try and lift me. Oh! Oh, just doing a little bit of cooking there, having a little bit of a get together and assess the situation, what's been going on so far this week, and been disturbed here by this little creature. Don't know what it is yet, but we'll find out in a minute, hopefully. That's the middle rod, and I actually changed this morning because I've been getting, over the last 24 hours, I've been getting a lot of grass carp, and if I'm being honest, they're not really what we've come here for.
Hoping it's a grass carp.
So I wanted to try and get away from them, and I've been using, you know, with some buckwheat and hemp in with the boat as well, and I think the particles attracted the grass carp. So this morning I've switched, I've dropped the particle out, and I'm fishing literally pellet and some little cell dumbbells now, putting nothing else in the boat, and it seems to have been successful, because since I've done that I've had 5 bites and 5 carp and not grassy, so maybe that's the way forward now. The water in here is actually quite clear, so I thought the fluorocarbon, it gives me a little bit of, you know, slightly stiffer hook link, and it's invisible really, and you can whip it up nicely with a little D, so it gives you nice anti-eject. They can blow it back and clear the hook for a better hook hold, so I've gone for that, and it seems to have really been quite successful.
Well, I had to take, mate. Got another one?
Yeah.
Look alright?
Yeah, it feels alright, mate.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel too bad at all. So.
Scrapping, isn't it?
Just hanging on, just hanging deep.
Your rig now, isn't it? Hold on, mate.
Well done.
Well done, dude. I like that. Weird.
It's 43.14.
Yeah, that's it.
43.14.
Another good fish.
Yeah.
Hold on, mate.
Well, another beautiful Parco mirror, just under 44, as I said. I'd like to see her in a couple of years when she's maybe another 30 pounds heavier. 2 or 3 years time. I'll let her go back now. Here she goes. I'm going to take a couple of minutes out now to show you the rig that I've chosen to use. Rather than trying different rigs on different rods, I've opted to go for the same rig on all 3. The reason being that the components are perfect for what we're fishing on here. The bottom's quite firm, sandy come clay, so the water's very clear. So for that reason, I wanted a fluorocarbon hook link just to make it a little bit harder for the fish to detect. And I've gone for a balanced wafter on a D rig that allows the fish to blow the bait out and you know, increase the chances of a better hook hold. Now I've set it up on a little whip D there, and it just allows the fish to be able to blow the bait back out of the way and make it easier for the hook to get a much better hook hold. I've used a size 4 curved barbed hook, and attached to that there's a shortish hook link. It's about 8 inches, and I've got one of our tungsten sleeves on the end.
Well, I felt the lead down, put the tip under the water to sink the line, and the line tightened up and started ticking off the spool. I wonder what was going on. Took me by surprise, to be honest. I reckon that was on the bottom for the maximum of 5 seconds. Just goes to show how lethal these method feeders can be when you get the spot rocking beforehand. I put 5 spods out, 2 rods on the spot, 1 just off it. This was the last rod to go out, and straight away the carp had their heads down, straight on the feed. I think the water's so warm out here, the fish have so much energy they proper pull. This one's almost ready to be netted. I don't mind catching them at this size when they look like that. Thought about having a change in tactics, but If they keep coming along like this, I'm happy to plough through them till a bigger one comes along. So over my little magic method feeders, I've been spodding a nice sloppy mix to help draw the fish in. It's dead easy, so we'll quickly run through it now. All it consists of is a mix of boilies, which I'm putting through this boilie crusher, like so. It's dead easy, pour them into the top, turn the handle. This creates a nice fine boilie crumb with a few bits and lumps of boilie falling through. That creates extra hook bait options as well. If I wanted to put a boilie on the hair, I've got something that will match the freebies I'm sort of spodding out there. So that's all nicely crushed up. Show you that. And then from there, once you've achieved that, I'll add some pellet, which they supply here at the lake. The fish have been brought up and bred on it, so they're gonna eat it no matter what. And then any liquid, just to help that as that bait's falling through the water columns, just to help hold it in the layers. So if the fish are up in the layers, help draw them down. Well, here's the rig that I'm using here at Parco. So simple, it couldn't get any easier to tie. It's a 4-inch hook link. Just a 25-pound soft braid hook link that we do in the camo version. And then as a hook bait, I've got a small trimmed down 8mm pop-up. My hook on this rig is a size 4 beaked point. I've been using the size 6s as well, but find the size 4 just helps that little pop-up sit a little bit above the bottom, just with the weight of the hook to help hold it down. And then up from that, I've got one of the quick change swivels through to my main line, which is the 18-pound mono in the green. And then there's just a little small flatbed method feeder, which I'm moulding a bit of pellet round, so it all sits nicely presented on the bottom. Well, I had it on my favourite blowback rig. It's the rig I've been using all week, just changing the hook link from the soft coated braid to the stiff coated braid, depending on the lake bed I'm fishing over. This one was taken on the bar out there, so I'm using the stiff, as I know that will kick out nicely on the firm bottom, and the fish was nailed in the bottom lip. Well happy with this one. Fish is definitely older than me. It's probably seen a few rigs in his time, but my blowback rig was just one step ahead of the game for it. Slipped up a treat, and I'll be going home a happy boy.
Lovely backdrop tonight, a little bit of lightning here in Italy. There's a storm brewing. Big fish Thursday, big carp weather. I must say spomming and using a marker float is brilliant and absolutely key in anybody's fishing. But when you come into these big lakes abroad, a graphical echo sound on a boat is an absolute godsend. It has put so many fish on the bank for me this week, and I can't stress enough just how important that echo sounder is. I would have found that wall out there. I sort of knew it was there. It would have took me a bit of time. Not as easy as this. If you want to be just double cautious, double safe, fire a marker rod out. When you find the spot with the boat, fire a marker rod out, just so you still feel the bottom, whether you know it's clay, gravel, weed, just so you can assess what's out there. This is helpful. That combined with a marker rod will definitely put extra fish on the bank. There we go. That's what I personally came for. A new PB common, and the highlight of my trip, 57 pound 12 ounces. Absolute rocket of a machine, this one. I knew it was bigger than anything I've caught previously here. The fight was immense, and unbelievably, this was caught on a small 1.75 method feeder and a size 8 beak point. Absolute beast.
Here we go. Just before daybreak this was. 73.10. This is what we come to Parco. This really is what we came to Parco for. A proper beast. Made up. What a play.
£60, 12 ounces, PB for this trip at Parco. Overall PB for me, I'm absolutely buzzing. Can't even begin to describe this day.
What a way to end a fantastic day. All the batteries are dead on the boats. She's got a 60 pounder in her arms. We've probably had 10 50s today, 4 60s. It's been an absolute amazing day. All the lads have been catching. Most of the stuff's packed away now. So yeah, I'll take a few more shots for Jude. She can slide her Italian 60 back and hopefully we'll get a good night's sleep tonight. So Max absolutely smashed it this week. He has been catching big un after big un after big un, including a 73 pound common. Unbelievable.
To come away to actually have caught a 70, 60, number of 50s, some cracking fish, I couldn't have asked for more. But it's just more than the fishing, and for people that do these sort of trips, they'll know it's the camaraderie. I've met some fantastic people that I wouldn't normally fish with. I met Ziggy, Rowley, proper Scousers. I'm fishing next door to Paul, who's like boss man. He's had a cracking week as well. He's caught tons of fish. We've helped each other out. And I have to be honest, I've had a bit of an injury on my arm of late, and had Paul not been with me, I would really have struggled. So I appreciate big shout out to him for that, because he's really helped me. I couldn't have lifted some of these fish on my own off the mat. So he's been a fantastic help. It's been a fantastic trip. I just only hope that maybe I get an invite on the next one.
Paul racking them up. It's 50 upon 50 upon 50. And in fact, I think he's probably had the biggest hit of big fish continuously every single day. Harry, the young gun, well, he's proved us all correct. He has been spodding, he has been working his absolute arse off this week. Moving swims, jumping about, following the fish, and ended up with an absolute stunning 50 pounder. He couldn't be more over the moon, and I don't think we could for him. Danny boy flew out, smashed it again. It's like every time he goes fishing, he's catching more fish than everyone.
So we've known about the second trip to Parco for quite a while. I actually pulled myself out of it due to work and family commitments. But a real lastminute.com, something that I'm sort of known for, nothing organised. My boss has kindly flown me out here. And what is also great is he's also flown out one of the new RidgeMonkey pros. We've had Harry Pratt join us, absolutely lovely lad, flew out with him. Funny enough, we was going to get a hire car. That all went tits up, long story. We had to get a taxi. So I've had a little bit of bonding, hotel night with Harry. We've had a nice little meal. Quite romantic really when you think about it like that. We've had a flight, we've had a taxi together, we've had a hotel room together, we've had dinner together. We've actually even fished together as well. So yeah, I'll welcome him into the team. I'm sure he's going to get into a few fish. And Harry, go get us a big one, mate.
What an absolutely stunning, fantastic lake this is. We really have broken all records, caught fish beyond all of our wildest imaginations at the beginning of the week. We never thought we'd have this amount of fish. And yeah, we've done really, really well. On a personal note, me and Jude have caught loads and loads and loads of carp. Personal best, Italian personal best, proper personal bests. Yeah, it's been absolutely stunning. Yeah, I'm blown away, blown away.